In direct current, electricity flows in one direction. However, with alternating current, the voltage and current change over time. Today, we explore how pure inductors and capacitors react to these changes, focusing on the phase difference between voltage and current. A purely inductive circuit contains only an inductor and an AC source. In this ideal scenario, we assume the wire has zero resistance. The inductor opposes changes in current by generating a back electromotive force, or back EMF, based on Faraday's law. In a pure inductor, the current does not rise instantly. Because the inductor resists the change, the current peaks 1/4 of a cycle after the voltage. We say that the current lags the voltage by a phase angle of 90 degrees. Phasor diagrams help us visualize these relationships. Here, the voltage vector leads the current vector. As they rotate counterclockwise, the voltage always maintains a 90-degree head start over the current in a purely inductive environment. Inductive reactance, denoted as XL, is the opposition to AC flow. Unlike resistance, it depends on frequency. As the frequency of the AC signal increases, the inductor provides more opposition, meaning the reactance grows linearly with the frequency. Interestingly, a pure inductor consumes no net power. During one half cycle, it stores energy in its magnetic field. During the next, it returns that energy to the source. The average power over a full cycle is exactly zero. Now, let's switch to a purely capacitive circuit. A capacitor consists of two conducting plates separated by an insulator. In an AC circuit, the capacitor constantly charges and discharges as the voltage polarity reverses, allowing current to appear to flow. In a capacitor, the current is proportional to the rate of change of voltage. This causes the current to reach its maximum value before the voltage does. In a pure capacitor, the current leads the voltage by 90 degrees. The phasor diagram for a capacitor shows the current vector 90 degrees ahead of the voltage vector. This is the exact opposite of what we saw with the inductor, illustrating the inverse nature of these two components. Capacitive reactance, XC, measures the opposition to current. Unlike the inductor, it is inversely proportional to frequency. At high frequencies, the capacitor offers very little opposition, while at low frequencies or DC, the reactance becomes infinitely large. Let's solve a problem. If we have a half-Henry inductor connected to a 220-volt, 50 Hz source, we first calculate the reactance. Multiplying 2π, frequency, and inductance gives 157 ohms. Dividing voltage by reactance reveals a current of 1.4 amps. For a 100 microfarad capacitor at 60 Hz, we use the inverse formula. The reactance is approximately 26.5 ohms. With a 120-volt source, the current flowing through the circuit is 4.53 amps. Note how frequency significantly impacts this result. To summarize, inductors and capacitors behave oppositely. In an inductor, current lags voltage and reactance increases with frequency. In a capacitor, current leads voltage and reactance decreases as frequency goes up. Both store energy without consuming it. A great way to remember these phase relationships is the mnemonic ELI, the ICE man. ELI tells us that voltage, E, leads current, I, in an inductor, L. ICE tells us that current, I, leads voltage, E, in a capacitor, C. Test your understanding. If we double the frequency of our AC source, what happens to our two types of reactance? Think about the linear and inverse relationships we discussed regarding frequency and the formulas for XL and XC. The correct answer is B. Since XL is proportional to frequency, it doubles. Since XC is inversely proportional, it is cut in half. Understanding these principles is key to mastering AC electronics. This video was generated by Vision Solve AI.